Have you ever gotten into it with your partner and all of a sudden it's like World War III breaks out and you have no clue why? Or maybe you've been in a situation with your partner where you just said the wrong thing that just sent them off and you have no clue what it was? My name's Moffett, Master Life by Design, and today's video is the one thing you never want to do in a fight with your partner or your spouse. Now, I've been with my wife for going on 7 years now. Isn't she just gorgeous, right? And so we've been together for 7 years, and let's just say in those 7 years, we've kind of got into it once or twice, or maybe a lot more, right? And so if you've ever been in a relationship longer than, let's just say, a day, you've probably had a situation with your partner where you got into it, you had a fight. Now, I personally don't call it having a fight. My wife and I, we're really big on linguistics, the words we use, the labels we give things. And so we don't call it a fight because in our unconscious mind, it thinks of pictures. And when I think of a fight, I think about two people going at it like boxing or, punching each other. I don't want to associate that image with my wife. And so what we call it is we call it speed bumps. So we have our speed bumps. And in fact, over the last 7 years, I don't think there's been a month that we haven't had a speed bump. Maybe there's been a few, I don't know. But we have our share of speed bumps too, because let's be honest, we're human. We both have different models of the world that we're living in and how things should be and the rules that we have, and that's relationships, right? We all go through it. And so if you haven't fought with your partner or had a speed bump with your partner, either one of two things happen. One, you haven't been in a relationship too long. Or number two is you're not really in a relationship. So anyway, with that being said, or I guess there's a third one, you might be extremely enlightened. And so that's probably the closest one, is you're enlightened, right? So anyway, all right, so what's the one thing you should never say in a relationship with your partner that causes a fight, or aka speed bump, is that when you're in that moment, when you're wrestling with your partner, linguistically, not physically. If you're wrestling with your partner physically, that's called being playful or domestic violence. But anyway, when you're in that match with your partner where you're having a speed bump, what happens that accelerated our fights, made our fights just blow up, those speed bumps just go to World War III, was every time that it would go to World War III, I could never figure out why. Until I started learning and studying and educating and getting coaching around this. And that was, I would always say, well, you never did this, or you should have done that, or you should have done this, or you did that. And that's why we have the situation we're in. And so the key here is you never want to say you, because what happens more on an unconscious level, and an energetic level, is when you say you should have, or you did this, it's because of you. When you use the word you, it's like you're putting your partner on blast, right? What's really happening is when you say you, they take out their sword and they're ready for battle. It's like you escalate it with your words, with your language, right? And so they pull out their sword and they're ready to go. And so they say, oh, hell no. And then they fight back, right? And you're like, oh, hell no. You bring out your sword and you fight back. And then World War III breaks out. Ta-da! You did it. Great job. And so here's what you want to do. Instead of saying you did this or you did that, you may want to start shifting to I and make it about you personally and not them. So use I and not you. I don't understand how that played out. I don't understand what I did wrong in this situation. Instead of you should have cleaned up the yard, I know I should have cleaned up the yard, or I should have communicated better about how I wanted the yard cleaned up. When you make it about you, you're taking responsibility, and you're taking the responsibility off of your partner. And so, not that we don't want to take responsibility, but in this context, in this situation, it's best when you take responsibility. So if I told my wife I needed, I don't know, let's just say underwear at the freaking store, I go into Walmart and she comes back without it, I'm like, you didn't hear what I said? You didn't get my underwear. What happened? Like, do you not pay attention? Right? Easily World War III. Right? Now, do we have a little bit more experience in this? And can we manage our emotions better? Yeah, but sometimes we falter. So we're human too, just like you. So if you have those moments, guess what? So do we. So that's cool. But instead, it said I could shift that and say, hey, I must not have communicated clearly enough. about wanting underwear when you went to the store. Did I communicate effectively for you? And no, I didn't hear that. Did I make sure that, I don't know, did I make sure that you heard what I said? No. I should have made sure that you heard what I said, right? And so it's about you taking responsibility. And so as you can see, I kind of stumbled a little bit there. So you do want to practice these situations before they arise. But if you're going to eliminate fights, you definitely don't want to say you did this or you didn't do that. Take responsibility. Take it off their plate. Make it about you. Put you in the wrong. I promise you, that has gotten speed bumps in our relationship for Christina and I. We've overcome them quickly. And people are sitting there like, how do you guys so amazing, so perfect? Well, what happens is we don't allow these speed bumps to escalate into wars. We used to have them, and sometimes we do. But what we normally do is we nip it in the butt right away by taking personal responsibility. I should have communicated to you more effectively. No, and then she'll respond, no, I should have been listening and I shouldn't have been doing like 20 million things at once. Okay, got it. Say, hey, moving forward, because after you take responsibility and you make it about you, as long as you guys aren't emotionally like, at a level 10 boiling point, what you want to do at that point is be solution focused. Like, hey, what can I do next time to support you? What can I do next time so we don't even go down this road, right? You're more solution focused than problem focused. Most people that I coach in relationships, they want retribution for what took place with their partner. They're like, you did this, right? And they get so frustrated. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be problem focused. You want to be solution focused. So make it about you, take responsibility, use the word I and not you, and figure out how can you eliminate this path in the future. What would your partner need from you? What do you need to do? And so that you guys can come together and, I don't want to say make a rule, but kind of make an outline, right? Rules to the game of how you're going to handle that situation or a similar situation like that in the future. It would shock you how many people don't take time to get clear on the ground rules with their partner. And that's a big one. And maybe I should make a video on that now that I think about it, right? And so anyway, make it about you, not them, right? Use the word I, and all of a sudden watch your relationship flourish. Watch the speed bumps diminish or at least reduce drastically. That's how you prevent World War III from breaking out. That's how you take your relationship to the next level. And let's be honest, speed bumps, fights in a relationship, actually a healthy thing. You get to know each other better. You get to communicate more effectively as long as you learn from that speed bump and then put rules in place or, rules of the game in place on how to handle it in the future. Challenges aren't bad. Problems are not bad. It's the way we think about the challenges or problems that make it bad. Actually, challenges and problems are really good and healthy. You just don't want to live there. You can visit, right? You just don't want to live there, right? Like I would never want to live with my grandparents, right? I'd like to visit, but I would never live there. And it's not a knock on them. It's just not what I want, right? And so same thing. You want to be solution focused, not problem focused. And I'm going to stop rambling now because I think you guys get the point. So with that, make sure you check out our relationship channel, or excuse me, not a channel. Make sure you look at our playlist around relationships. If you want to learn more on how to have a healthy, successful, passionate, loving relationships, please go ahead and check that out. Give this video a thumbs up if you found value, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button so that you can get and turn the notifications on too, so that you can be notified that when we come out with our 3 videos a week in the area of relationship, business, finance, and business and finance, and then personal development. Because our whole goal at Master Life by Design is to consciously create the life we want, no matter what level you are, whether you're broken just getting started at 18, or maybe you're 65 and you've ran multi-million-dollar businesses and took them public, but there's some areas of your life where you're just not living your best life, and we're here to help you live your best life, consciously create that so you can live life by design and be the master of it. That's why we call this Master Life by Design. So with that, hope you guys found value. My name's Joe Moffett with Master Life by Design. Have a great one. See you guys.